Guys, this video is sponsored by Athletic Greens, but more on those guys later. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chase on Two Wheels here, and in front of us we have the Apex Predator, the gorgeous 2022 KTM Superduke 1290R. The last time I rode this bike was a 2019 model, and since then they've had some changes, and I cannot wait to ride this thing. You guys make sure to hit that like button if you're a fan of first rides, and stick around for the end of the video because we're gonna find out today if this thing still holds the title of the Beast. Let's go. Alright guys, that's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. Now, before we get going, in order for us to have that beautiful camera car footage, you guys got to sit through a very quick ad. Super fast though. Let's talk about the ad real quick, and then we can get this thing cranked up. Before we get into it, I got to take a second to say thank you to Athletic Greens, not only for helping us keep the lights on, but also helping us keep up with our goals as a shop. Not gonna lie, 2022 is shaping up to be a big year for us, and with such a high bar we have set for ourselves, we are busier than ever trying to make top-notch content for you guys. So, needless to say, I've been looking for something to help me maintain my energy levels throughout the day, rather than consuming an unhealthy amount of coffee. And that's why I've been sipping on Athletic Greens AG1, which is a daily supplement consisting of 75 different vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Rather than stopping again and again and again to make a cup of coffee, I just make a portion before I leave out in the morning with the included kit, and I am set for the day. To be honest with you, mornings can be a little rough for me since I always hit the ground running, so I keep one of their travel packs in my bag. That way, just in case I miss a beat, I can still get a glass at the shop. You just need 8 ounces of water, one of their little travel packs, you give it a little mixy mix, a shaky shake, and it's ready to go. So this shout out is for Athletic Greens for helping us meet our goals in 2022. If you'd like to try Athletic Greens as well, you can get started with your order by going to athleticgreens.com/chaseontwowheels. Athletic Greens is going to give the crew, and by crew I mean y'all, a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's athleticgreens.com/chaseontwowheels. In 2022, do more with less. More for your health, more for your life. Now, back to the first ride. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys that sat through the ads are absolute champs. If you guys didn't sit through the ads, we wouldn't be able to bring you guys the top-notch footage that you are used to here on Chase on Two Wheels. So, you guys that watch through them and click on them, you guys don't know how much you support this channel. Thank you so much. All right, 2022, the Beast. Let's go. All righty, just sitting on it, we have a higher seat height, guys. I'm 5'10" with a 32-inch inseam. I cannot flat foot, but like if I had another inch, I probably could. Right now, no flat footing. And you guys will notice, temp transport lock. KTM's always come with this 300-mile transport lock. That gets unlocked when the bike is purchased. There we go. We have modes. Let's check out the modes. All right, we go down to here, ride mode. So we have rain, we have street, we have sport. As you guys know, we will start in rain mode, and that is it. ABS is on road. Let's do the damn thing. Man, you are sitting up top on the old Superduke. And guys, before we jump into traffic, I want to remind you guys we do have a motorcyclist Discord that if you guys want to discuss first rides or anything other motorcycle topics, I'd love to have you over there. It's a group of like-minded individuals like yourself who just enjoy motorcycles and want to talk about them. It's totally free. There's a link in the description to go check it out. Today we are on the 2022 KTM Superduke 1290R. I rode one of these in 2019 and my God, is it a hell of a machine, and I was super excited to find out that I'm doing this. I love this style of motorcycle. There is, I mean, this class, this naked super class, it's so competitive, man. You've got some of the best bikes on the market in this class right now. You've got the MT10, you've got the Aprilia Tuono V4, you've got the Street Fighter V4. There is just, you got the Speed Triple RS. There are so many incredible motorcycles. It's been super fun to watch this class evolve over time, and just the bikes get so good. And arguably, we are on one of the best today, at least in price. Guys, let's talk about body position real quick. The Superduke is very interesting body position-wise. One, I'm on a relatively hard seat. It feels like a very, I want to say race seat, but pretty close to a race seat. My legs are tucked up a little bit, and I'm slightly leaned over, and my arms are down on these handlebars. And I have this, I would say, a relatively aggressive body position. Not as aggressive as the Speed Triple RR. I don't know, like, I'm going to call this medium aggressive body position, but I really like the feeling that my body's in right now. I feel like I'm ready to attack something. That's the vibe I'm getting from this motorcycle, so everything is in cohesion right now. This legitimately might be one of my favorite body positions that I've ever been sitting on a motorcycle in. I just love the semi-aggressiveness of it. I feel prepared to handle whatever comes in front of me. And I feel like that's what this kind of bike needs. So, rain mode. We've got the 3 modes, and rain mode right now is a little strong, to be honest. I don't think rain mode should necessarily be this strong. This is an expert level motorcycle. You guys out there that are just starting out, hopefully none of you guys are going to be looking into this motorcycle. I will say, in these little city streets, the throttling on this bike feels great. Like, I feel like I'm actually able to control it, and it feel okay for city streets, which is kind of surprising. I mean, this bike has got an immense amount of power. We're looking at, I think, 180 horsepower and 101 foot-pounds of torque. So it's got an incredible and impressive. It has an impressive amount of power. Let's see. All right, so dash test. Let's see if we can change the settings. Let's go to data. Warnings, extra functions, that's not what I want. Settings, shift light, daytime clock, units, kilometers, miles. We fixed it. All right. Okay, so I like that test. That was a test of a dash I've never used before, and I had to go in there and change kilometers to miles per hour. Now, in the past, that would have been incredibly difficult. So, good job, KTM, on making your dash intuitive. I was able to figure that out right here on camera. I've never done that before, guys. That was a authentic first impressions of navigating the dash. So, super useful dash. Nice job, KTM. TBH, didn't expect that from you, from you guys. I expected to be fiddling with that, so I'll give you props. This motorcycle, going these like city street speeds, is very interesting. I get a feeling like I'm up top on the bike when I'm leaning it over. Because, we're looking at a 1290. This is a huge twin engine. But with me feeling kind of top heavy, which makes sense because I did tell you guys when I started going, I felt like I was on top of the bike. But when I lean, the bike progressively wants to lean harder as I'm leaning from side to side. So my body weight is helping push the bike from side to side. But it makes it feel very agile here on the streets. At least going slow speeds. When we speed up here in a little while, we'll have to check it out for that. But really maneuverable motorcycle. Actually, let's go into ride modes, and let's go to street. Let's officially get out of rain mode. This bike has such an interesting sound. Do you guys hear that? there's a whistly something going on, and I really like it. It kind of reminds me of those cool sounds that Triumphs make. And of course, we're on a V-twin here on the Superduke, so you know, we're looking at that less than 4. These all seem to have such an interesting sound. I dig that. So guys, getting up here to road speed now, this bike is kind of perplexing me. Like, the balance of it is so strange. I feel like I'm high up on the bike. I feel like I can kind of like throw the bike in any direction and it's just compliant with wherever I want it to go. I also feel like the tires, which feel like a mountain underneath me, are just stuck to the ground. It is such a weird feeling. All right, guys, so we're on the Superduke and we're coming up on the highway. Let's see if we can change rider modes while we're moving, which I don't love doing, but it is what it is. All right, close throttle, twist to grip. All right, so we're now in sport mode. Woohoo! We're about to be on the highway, and if you guys didn't notice, we're on a motorcycle where we have no protection. I'm interested to see how the wind's going to be on the highway. I imagine it's going to be pretty bad, but we're in this kind of aggressive stance, so will it be okay? I'm not really sure. Sometimes the aggressive stance will help you out. We're also just way high up on the bike, so it's this is going to be interesting. Man, this 40 to 80 pull is about to be intense. All right, let's go to Mexico. Oh man, there's a lot of traffic. It's gonna be hard to find a spot for a 40 to 80 pull today. Oh wait, can we get it? Can we get it? No, there's too many cars. Too many cars. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that right now. Sorry, dudes. You gotta stay safe though. All right, guys, so we're going in third gear, going 60 miles an hour. And there is a decent amount of vibration, especially in my feet. I can feel a lot of vibration in my feet, a little bit of vibration in my hands. But interestingly, the wind is so universal on my chest and I'm leaned forward a little bit. I honestly don't mind the wind. Wait, can I do the 40 pull right here? Bruh, can I? All right, we're about to do 40 to 80. Here we go. Get ready, boys. God! I was leaned all the way up and I couldn't make it stop wheeling. I've never had that happen before. I got past 80 and it was still just power wheeling. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's gonna take a minute that I didn't crash this bike. That's great. Okay, moving on. It's really powerful. I guess you can take it from there. All right, let's try out cruise control. Cruise control is on and we can set it. And we're going 85, cool. Now, the cruise control has these cool little paddle shifters here at the bottom. I can slow my cruise control by the button on the opposite side of that plus. I can slow it down, I can press it up a few times, and I can get going faster. That's pretty neat. And if I want to disengage, can I go forward? Yep. And I can turn it off by hitting the cruise control button again. We love that. So guys, I'm being blown around a little bit on the highway, but I think that's just because I'm on a relatively lighter motorcycle. Like, this thing's under 400 pounds, and it's not that big of a bike. It's kind of small. Kind of reminds me of the first time I rode an MT-10. I'm getting blown around a little bit. I don't feel dangerous at all. You know, the wind is always really strong on this highway. I feel fine though. And obviously we know the engine, this giant V-twin, has no problem taking on the highway. Now let's get ahead of this trucker. What's he gonna do? He's gonna go there, cool. So, highway, cool. Not as bad as I thought. I expected the wind to be way worse, but it's doing that thing where the wind holds me up in that aggressive body position. So I'm totally here for the body position on the highway. I think I could probably comfortably ride this all day with no problem, even on the highway, just because my body weight can lean into the wind. Now, I want to feel what this thing feels like leaned over, because with me being up tall, I feel like I'm on an R6 or something. And, of course, I knew it would feel like this. I'm going to run into this traffic, but, you know, there's something about a motorcycle that when you sit high up on it, and you can utilize your body weight leaning over, You would think you wouldn't feel as comfortable because you're tall up and leaning over, but for some reason, man, it feels so good. You feel like you are doing the right thing on the bike, which is always such a cool feeling. Why does this not come stock with a quick shifter? You are going to kill people. Oh my goodness. Guys, let me take a breather after all that, and let's jump to the Cardo spawn. See what the guys in the camera car think about this absolutely incredible machine. Guys, what are y'all feeling about this thing?
Is it 2022 Superduke 1290R? Arr. It is the same hooligan bike that it's been for quite some time now. The 1290 Twin makes far too much power and torque for the setup, and it's absolutely glorious to ride. It is a total handful. It is not a bike for beginners or the faint of heart. It has a totally bug-looking headlight, and I love it. That's cool. That's it.
2022 Superduke 1290R is a pretty good bike. Comes in about how much, Chase? Like 18 something?
I think so. 18.5 maybe.
Yeah, so it's up there. It's not your average MT10, and it's not your over-the-top Monster 1200. It's somewhere in the middle of it. Trying to be fucking great at this like you are, and I suck at it. I don't watch as much Top Gear as this guy, and it's fucking showing. All right. 2022 Superduke 1290R. It's a great bike. I love the colors. It's one of those upper tier motorcycles in the super naked category that I will always love. Yeah, great bike.
Thank you guys in the camera car. What's up, Acura? And thank you, Cardo, for sponsoring the First Ride series. If you guys want to grab a Cardo, we got a discount link in the description down below. Cardo are our favorite Bluetooth units, and that's what me and the guys use to communicate with the camera car. And that's what we have on all our helmets. We love them. Let's talk power delivery, specifically in sport mode. This is one of those interesting motorcycles where you don't necessarily feel like you're going that fast. This thing is putting so much power down to the ground, but it doesn't feel like it. You have to be incredibly careful, and the power is delivered in such a smooth way. You know, there's no real big like, oh, there's the power. It's just like, next thing you know, the front wheel's coming up, and you're like, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Power, I don't think anybody's going to wonder about the power on a Superduke. If you are, you might be real new here. Next up, let's talk about the transmission real quick. It does have a quick shifter available, but you have to purchase it in addition to the motorcycle. And we're going to get into all that in a second. I've got a little baby rant to go on. I currently don't have the quick shifter or the tech pack unlocked on this KTM Superduke. And yes, this bike costs $19,600 and does not come with a quick shifter. The feeling of the transmission, when I'm clicking into gears, when I want to get into neutral, the transmission feels really good. I'm totally here for the feel. You know, using the clutch and getting into gears, getting into first, going up through the gears. I have a very satisfying feel when I'm going up through the gears. I have no question of what gear I'm in. Obviously, I've got a gear indicator. So the transmission feels good. We love that. A final thing for this section, I do have to talk about the brakes on this thing because they are substantial. Let's see if we can get a little brake check. My God, they bite hard though. You know, this bike, you are going to feel like you are on a race bike in a naked platform. Kind of reminiscent of the Speed Triple RS, except this thing, it just feels way more raw. The ride is a little vibraty. You feel like this thing could kill you at any moment. Whereas the Speed Triple RS felt a little more refined, like you had to submit a request to be killed. This thing's just actively trying to kill you, and you have to try to stay alive while riding. That's the difference between this thing and something like a Speed Triple RS, at least in my head right now. That power delivery is so weird. It doesn't sound, it doesn't feel as powerful as what it's putting down, which is so strange. You just have this grunty like, and then next thing you know, you're going 115. You know, I am starting to really like that whistle though of that of the engine. All right, before Chase kills himself, let's put the ride mode into street because Jesus. Let's check out the suspension. Oh, can't. Gotta go. Got to go. We're busy. We're working here. We're working here. All right, we're going to get all these modes. Guys, there's plenty of stuff to dig into this menu system. If you guys purchase this motorcycle, you can do all types of stuff. We're not going to dig into it in this video. All right, guys, let's talk about this real quick. All the buttons and the dashes. Let's talk about the dash up first. One, I feel like KTM's done a relatively good job of minimizing this dash. Now, I did find out if I push the up button, I can kind of change this whole thing and get a little more information. Then I can hit down and it all goes away, I think. Or not. I don't know what to do to make it go away now, so I'm stuck. Okay, cool, I'm stuck here. So you can add more information if you want. I kind of like that minimal setup. I want the minimal setup back and I can't get it. Oh well, I live here now. The dash is okay. I don't really love the layout and the look. It looks a little old, but maybe that's the vibe. They're trying to go with this like super minimal look. I do feel like it's a very clear dash. As you guys can see, no clouds in the sky, super bright day. I can see all of that information, no problem. So in that regard, good dash. Now, the controls, look at that. There are much better ways to do this. I will suggest you go look at the Triumph Speed Triple RS. Their button layout is far simpler and it does every single thing that does. So I think that looks a little convoluted. The first time I saw that, I got a little overwhelmed with like, oh my good God. I also have a little bit of a problem pressing it with thicker gloves on. It's hard to tell what I'm pressing, so not in love with that. The buttons, they feel okay. Some of them are more tactile than others. I hate the turn signal though. I can't feel shit with the turn signal. From what I understand, I'm supposed to press it in. Like if I might have it on, if I press it in, it should stop, but then it doesn't. I really don't like the turn signal. There is no feeling. Like this thing just wiggles around. That does nothing for me. I am not here for the turn signal. I turned it on, and now I have to turn it off. I think I turned it off. I'm honestly not sure. So the controls get a solid like okay. Like this thing's a little funky, this little weird shape. I kind of dig it, but it's also just really weird. Love the black handlebar. Love the feeling of the grips. Love the feeling of the levers. Are they adjustable? Both are adjustable. We love that. Good job on the levers. It's just the buttons that I'm not a huge fan of. And while we're talking about this front dash area, I have to mention that this Superduke, more than any motorcycle that I can remember right now, I get a feeling of I'm way up high on a motorcycle, and bro, I can legit not see anything down here. I cannot remember a bike in recent memory where I felt so much like nothing was in front of me. So it's kind of strange, man. It's a very interesting way to ride, because typically you'd ride like this, you could see your dash and shit. Over here, like this is how I feel like riding this thing. Like I can't see nothing. Which I'm not going to lie, kind of makes me feel like I'm flying, and with the Superduke, that's justified. So, it's pretty cool. We are going to pull off up here to the right, guys. We're going to go do a little walk around of the motorcycle. Now, I know you guys have been looking at all that beautiful camera car footage, but I would like to walk around it and show you guys how effing gorgeous this bike is, because it is. Probably one of the, in my personal humble opinion, probably one of the best bikes on the market right now as far as looks. All right, kill switch. Yep, that's what I did. So, super weird thing. Bike's off, right? It's keyless entry. To turn the bike off, you have to hit the lock button, which makes sense. Now, to turn the bike back on, you have to hit the lock button again. I don't like that it's a lock button. It just needs to be an on-off button or something. I'm not kind of confused with the whole locking situation. All right, guys, let's take a gander. We've got the blue. I don't know what color blue this is, but KTM blue Superduke. Obviously, we've got all the orange accents and whatnot. They do also have a silver model, so keep that in mind. This is one of the most angular-looking super nakeds or hyper nakeds out there right now. It's got this, buggy eye thing going on with these DRLs, but if you're buying off of looks, I'm buying this. Or am I going to get the Street Fighter? Between this and the Street Fighter are probably my two favorite looking motorcycles. You guys can let us know in the comments, what do you guys think about the looks? We've got the side pipe coming out. We've got the two headers kind of wrapping around. It gives it kind of a cool look. I love the orange. The tail tucks in so well. Comes blacked out. KTM did a great job with this. They always have, they match these like white rear shocks with the orange. Such a good looking motorcycle. Got the single-sided swing arm. I love the angles of this thing. I love all of these aggressive angles. Yeah, I couldn't say enough good about KTM for the way they made this thing look. And look how high the seat is. How crazy is that? They raised the seat up. I think they dropped this thing by 30 pounds from the 2019 model. So it's basically just as powerful and like 30 pounds lighter. Wish I could say that about myself. All right, guys, before we keep going, I am going to pull my camera out, and we're going to take some beautiful photos of this thing. Trust me, it's not going to be hard. If you guys want to check out the photos I take or some of the other photos we post, go check out our Instagram, C2WPics, and you can also check out our TikTok page. We are at Chaseontwowheels over on TikTok. All right, ladies and gents, photos are done being taken. If you go check it out on Instagram, let us know you came from the first ride. Just comment on the post, and that way we'll know. Alrighty, guys, let's get this ride going and finished up. Unfortunately, this has been really fun. I've enjoyed this bike a lot, but I do got a couple problems we got to talk about real quick. All right, guys, so before we end this video, I do got to get something off my chest with the Superduke. As of the 2022 model, it has been lightened by 35 pounds. It remains the amount of power that it had. It is an incredible machine that comes in at an incredibly high price. This bike starts out at, I think, MSRP is $19,600. But for that price, you don't get the full bike. You get you get the bike, obviously, but the way KTM does all of their like added modes and shit is you have to buy something called a track pack or a tech pack, or you can electronically purchase the quick shifter. I could probably do a whole video on this, but I'm just gonna say that I don't like that mentality of, to unlock the quick shifter on this motorcycle, you have to purchase it from a KTM official dealer, and all you're doing is taking the bike in and they're plugging the bike into a computer and typing in a code, and suddenly your bike has a quick shifter. I would much rather this motorcycle just cost, I think the tech pack on this costs like $1,000 once you go into the shop and all that kind of stuff. I don't think any of you out there are going to be buying a $20,000 bike and then complaining about $1,000 more, the price being $21,000, so $20,000, and having a quick shifter. Like, nobody's buying the Superduke and not wanting the quick shifter. The quick shifter is my main issue. This bike for 19.6, it should come with a quick shifter. No argument. I don't understand how it doesn't. It's also an incredible motorcycle, so I don't know what to say. I'm pissed off about the whole like pay-to-play purchase thing, but this is also an incredible machine. So I'm pissed off, but I'm like, I ain't buying it, so it don't even really matter. But if I was a KTM fan, I wanted the Apex Predator Hyper Naked, and I went in, or I looked it up, and the bike cost, $19,600. I saved up my money, and I went in with 20 grand, or, a little over after dealer cost and shit. And then I'm like, hello, sir, here's my cash. I would like my Superduke. And then I went and rode it, and it didn't have a quick shifter. I would be pissed, honestly. But that's not the position, so it doesn't matter. You guys, if you own a KTM, if you've bought an old Superduke and they do the same thing, let me know. Do you guys care? Or do you just drop the extra grand and shut the hell up? I'm super interested. From my perspective, it would piss me off if it wasn't included in the price. Maybe I'm just the wrong demographic. Now, the question is this motorcycle a buy or sell? If you got the extra grand on top of the MSRP, my goodness gracious, this is a buy. I love the shit out of this thing. It has this shaky, kind of raw feel to the ride. You guys saw the highway. You can't keep the wheel down, and it feels very controllable and okay with the wheel coming up like that. Absolutely nutso. That is all predicated on the fact of if you've got the cash. This is not a cheap motorcycle. It is in the top of the price range for the Hyper Nakeds. This feels the most raw ride that you're going to get in all the Hyper Nakeds. I've ridden all of them. The RS, the MT10, I haven't ridden the Tuono, take that back, but I've ridden the Street Fighter. I've ridden all of these amazing motorcycles, and this is the one that gives you the most just on the cutting edge of a knife's blade type situation. That translates into a very thrilling ride. This thing makes me feel like one of those older Ducatis that, like, it shakes and it gives you that feel in your soul of riding a motorcycle and being dangerous. I don't know. If that's what you're looking for, this bike will deliver on it. And that's all I got to say. I would love to have a little more time on one of these because there's so many topics I would love to really dig into with you guys and, you know, have conversations about. But that's not what we are here for. This is a first ride. So I appreciate you guys riding around with me today. And before we get out of here, big shout out to Mountain Motorsports. Without those guys, I would not have access to all these bikes. So if you guys want to check out Mountain, they have like 5 or 6 locations up here in North Georgia. Absolute massive inventories. If you're looking for a motorcycle, odds are they've got it for you. You can click in that link down below to check out their locations and find one close to you and go check out your next bike. You can also get a discount at Mountain for using my code. So do that whole thing in the description. Thank you, Mountain. Mucho preciado. And that's about it for me, guys. Make sure to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you like motorcycle content. I'm Chaseontwowheels, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, so out to our crew, my main thing, make sure to put OC in your comment, but let us know in the comments down below, how do y'all feel about this whole, like, in-game purchase feel of buying a motorcycle and then having to get it technologically upgraded? It chaps my ass so freaking hard, but I am curious what you guys think, because I want to try to, like, am I just random as hell with that pissing me off, or do you guys are like, oh, it's cool, yeah, I'd rather have the access to buy the bike cheaper if I don't want all that stuff? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.